Right now, we're in the midst of a shifting season. We just shifted from summer to fall, and it's getting ready to be fall to winter. And I think it's appropriate because sometimes going through different seasons of life, different seasons as a company can be a struggle. And if we don't have the right mindset, if we don't have the right people around us and the right connectivity and the right vibration and the right perspective, and sometimes our perspective needs to be challenged, then those seasons, can kill us, right? They just can. And, one of the things that I had on like content to share today, there's a book called Mastery, and I think it's a great book. And I think it's fitting for right now where we're at as a community. And because so many people are going through different seasons, I recommend anybody getting it. It's a very short read, but it really focuses in on your desire and your edge is about your mindset of constantly growing and having a master's mindset. Like the master never reaches a destination, right? Because it's constant and it's a lifelong progression. It's about building on what they have, so it's about creating change within yourself, helping create change in what you're wanting to do, grow a higher level of consciousness to change in the world. But it starts with you. And in order to change, we have to learn. And then once we learn, we can grow, right? And then when we grow, we can master the things that we've been through. And on the other side of that, the master always has this infinite wisdom, we think, but their wisdom is because they go through that process of changing, learning, growing constantly. And so, really, I think that you should look at your progression in your journey. There was something said in this group of people, the joy is in the journey. And someone else said, yes. And once you realize that the joy has always been in you, joy isn't a destination. It really resonated with me because joy is inside of each and every one of us. And once we can have peace with letting ourselves enjoy where we're at, that's what the master does. Right. And there's a lot of different parables in this book. One of them is the stressor or the obsessor. One of them is the dabbler. And in our business model, and all of you can relate to this, we see a lot of dabblers come in. They hope that it works. They give it a little bit of effort. The first time their neighbor says, oh, it's one of those things, they dabble. If it's not easy, the minute they feel resistance, they stop. That's kind of like I was in golf. The minute I felt a little resistance in golf, trying to hit the ball, I stopped. That's the dabbler. They dabble in a lot of things. And when you have a true commitment to something, if you're going to commit to something, you commit to the journey, you commit to the path of mastery. And an obsessor, or if you want to say a stressor, they are always stressed. And some of us have this, right? Because their mindset is they got to do it now. They got to do it now. And I see people drown in this, legitimately drown. They put so much pressure on themselves to have to achieve based on their expectation or based on how they're comparing themselves with other people. It's self-sabotage, and they stress and they stress, and sometimes they break through. But could you imagine living your life just always stressed out, having to do it? And some of us have to learn our lesson because we do that. We're achievers. We have that achieving mindset. And all of us, I think, have been there at some point in time. And then, I think the master, they have a lot of different archetypes. Maybe we'll do a training on this book sometime, but they approach it different. When they feel resistance, they've already committed to that cycle of change. Change is inevitable, progress is not. So as seasons change, you want to progress through each season. And sometimes the more uncomfortable the season we're going through, the more growth we're gaining, right? And so we want to shift, we want to change, we want to progress, then we learn. And when we learn, we grow. When we grow, we have to give back. And that's a primary principle of the master. The master commits to this never-ending process of when they feel resistance and they hit a plateau, they don't stress, they don't obsess, and they don't quit. They just say, this is to be expected. But the mastery mindset and the principle is just to be like, it's to be expected. And knowing that there is another season coming. And the reason I'm saying that is because sometimes the stuff we're going to, we create more impact in that season that keeps us in that season, instead of realizing that we magnify our problems sometimes more than we do our blessings. So one of the things I'm going to encourage you all to do is magnify your blessings and magnify the journey you're in, more than the problem, because it'll help get you through it. Once you take on that mindset of, man, it's to be expected, it allows you to not let the season steal your joy, right? And that joy is the most powerful tool we have of attraction, because it's in each and every one of us, and we resonate with it and we're drawn to it. When we see someone genuinely happy and having joy, and so, these are tools to, like, say, create activity. Because when you're active and you're moving, there's an old saying that I heard from a country boy a long, long time ago. And he goes, a dog in a hunt doesn't know it has fleas. And when he said it, I didn't know what he meant because I was young. But what it means is, if you just keep moving sometimes and you're in the hunt and you realize that journey, you can enjoy the hunt so much, you don't realize the nicks that you're getting or getting bit, or you don't realize all the little stuff. But if we slow down and we stop and we focus on the little things, it magnifies, it can paralyze us. And so my point is that we have a lot of going on, but I think the most important thing for us to realize is that our greatest strength is in our ability to work together. And I think so many times it's tough when you have human behavior and human dynamics, and each and every one of us, we have a past. We have a pathology of our past. And, sometimes our mind plays tricks on us. Is if you find yourself not wanting someone else to succeed, you need to look in the mirror. That's not then things are going backwards for you. And one person's success is an actual indicator of our success too. So be everyone's biggest cheerleader. This is not about competing from within. Be competitive with each other. That's okay. But don't compete against each other. One of the greatest things of competing and winning is you have to have something bigger than you that you're playing for. You have to understand your why. Your why has to inspire something deeper. And sometimes we also have to have an enemy, right? But the enemy can't be someone that's actually on our team. And I think that's important. And, we have a lot to be thankful for. And, whatever season of life that you're in, take on that mastery principle and realize that there's always a new season right around the corner.